On my birthday, I did a ritual and I was very intentional about that specific thing that I wanted to manifest, which was a new home. And that entire day, that was what I focused on. After that day, okay, I did my ritual. Then time passed. Okay, time passed, and I was kind of just letting the time pass, okay, when it came to manifesting my new home, okay? But then something clicked in me where I realized that I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait for my home to appear. And I think for a lot of us, when it comes to manifestations and manifesting, there is an element where we feel like we have to wait for our desires to come to us. And we kind of also expect for it to take a while, or we'll expect for there to be like things that have to happen and a process that has to be possibly super long for us to receive our desires. And something clicked for me, I want to say a month and a half or so after I did that ritual. And what clicked for me, really what ended up clicking was I ended up being like getting into an argument or not even really, it wasn't even really an argument. It was really just like a conversation that led to so much frustration about my living circumstances. So much anger also. Anger about my circumstances. I'm also a manifesting generator, so in the human design. So that's the typical emotional response whenever you are in resistance or you're in a state of resistance for manifesting generators is that anger mixed with frustration. Okay. So I was incredibly angry and frustrated. And in that moment, something clicked to where I completely changed my mindset and also my expectations around moving into a new home completely. It was kind of like, if it's not coming now, it's never coming. Okay? If it's not coming now, it's never coming. And once I clicked myself into the understanding that actually it is already happening now. My home is already available to me now. Once I clicked into that, I manifested the perfect place to live in less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. My mom was shook. My parents were like shook. They were like, "Oh, you moving out?" "Oh, like you got a place? You've been wanting this for a long time." Like years. You've been wanting this for years. And like now you got it? Like, all of a sudden? They were surprised. Like, they were so surprised that they honestly didn't expect that I was like, they didn't expect for me to actually be moving out. And my mom was like, "Are you sure, like, that, things are gonna fall through?" Like, she was super anxious for me. That she wasn't expecting things to work out, like, she was, like, kind of concerned, she was checking in all the time, she was like, "Did you call the people? Did you ask them if they got your paperwork? Like, what's going?" And I'm just like, "I already know. I already know that I got the place. I already know." I was so confident, I was so sure that it was done already. And it was. And within, I want to say that month, I moved in. Like I was fully moved in. So from November to February, I moved into my new place. So I did my ritual on my birthday. And mind you, I was in waiting mode after November into December, even into January a little bit. I was in waiting mode. And it wasn't until sometime in January or maybe early February, I was like, "Nope, I'm not in waiting mode anymore. It's happening now." It's happening now. So, that was one of my biggest forthright experiences, where I say biggest because manifesting a home is something that we consider to be big, like a big thing, okay? And it happening super fast when for years it had not been happening. I was like, I kind of felt like, man, I've been postponing this. That was what I was feeling like. I was feeling like I had been postponing my own blessing because it had happened so fast after I decided to move into instant manifestation. So that was one of my experiences within the past 4 years or so. I think it's been 4 years. Has it been that long? Um, so I want to share some more things, okay, that are more of like even more of an example of how instantly manifesting works and how collapsing time works when it comes to manifesting your desires, okay? Because that was time. Like I collapsed what I thought was going to take a super long time to step into. I ended up collapsing time and it happened within a day. I was I had secured my own place. So, some of the other things that I manifested instantly, okay? Sh- let's see, in the year of 2024, so that was almost 2 years ago, the beginning of 2024, I was ready to start therapy. I had never gotten therapy before as an adult. And I had gotten coaching before, business coaching for my business, um, coaching for my relationships, but I had never actually gotten therapy as an adult. I got therapy when I was a child. I had to get therapy as a child because I had experienced being, you know, um, abuse as a child. Um, so that was the only time I had remembered going to therapy was when I was a young girl, and that was play therapy. So, that wasn't real, like, talking things out therapy, that was that was play therapy, that was child type of therapy, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm ready to start therapy," but the only thing is therapists are expensive, right? That's what most people think is, like, therapists are expensive, and at that time, I was saving majority of my um money that I wanted to invest into myself, into my health because I was still on a health journey. Okay, so every year from since the year of 2020, all of my money had been going into restoring my health. Okay. Because for those of you who know my story or for those of you who don't, um I was diagnosed with losing 100% of my upper cervical curve in my spine, which was causing a plethora of health issues after I had my daughter. So I was spending, you know, a lot of my money, almost all of my money on healthcare and chiropractic care and investing into my health, trying to gain back my energy, and just feel normal again, okay? I didn't start feeling normal again until probably the beginning of 2023, okay, which is when I made the biggest quantum leap in my health. Actually, in 2022 and in 2023, I made huge quantum leaps in my health. I'm gonna talk about that as well. Um, so I was under the assumption that, oh, paying for a therapist is gonna be not possible, okay? And a lot of people think that way when it comes to getting getting help mentally or investing into their health, mental health and physical health. Okay, a lot of people think this way when it comes to their physical health and like paying for organic groceries. They're like, oh, I can't do that because it's too expensive, or I can't eat in this way because nobody sells that food that's around me, or things like that, thoughts like that. So I was thinking for a long time, and this is why I hadn't gone to therapy, that I wouldn't be able to afford therapy. Fast forward, okay, so in into 2024, I was really experiencing a lot of seasonal, what is it called? That seasonal depression, like that winter in the end of 2023 into the beginning of 2024. I definitely had like that seasonal depression disorder, whatever that was called. Um and it's basically when the winter comes, you start feeling just not like yourself. So I was like, I really need a therapist, and I can't think that I can't afford a therapist because I really can feel that I need one. So within, I want to say, within a week of me choosing and deciding that it was time for me to have a therapist, and I wasn't going to allow any of my limiting thoughts, any of my, oh, therapists are too expensive, to hold me back. I ended up manifesting a therapist who was perfect for me, and I was only required to pay $40 a month for her sessions, okay? It was weekly sessions. Typical therapist weekly sessions are like $100 plus every session. So I was paying 40. So instead of paying like $400, $500 a month, I was paying $40 a month. And I'm like thinking to myself, man, all the people who complain about not being able to get like mental health care, which was also me at one point, I was able to manifest therapy, like a licensed therapist, okay, have her certifications and everything. And she was also a black woman, and she was also like so like perfect for me, okay? I was able to manifest her within a week of me choosing and deciding, no, I'm going to have a therapist now. I don't need to wait. I don't need to like do any extra stuff. Like I'm going to have a therapist now. That also what I would consider to be a collapsing of time manifestation, because I had for some time not gotten a therapist because I believed that I couldn't afford a therapist. So, other things that have manifested instantly and collapsed time in manifesting. This is one of the bigger things that a lot of women are like, ooh, like, how did you do that? Okay. Is manifesting my ideal type of man, okay? Manifesting my ideal type of man, specifically wealthy men, specifically men who are well off, specifically men who are going to spoil me and treat me very well and take care of me, okay? These are things This is another thing that I tend to manifest very instantly, and at this point, it happens very often, but In what was it? I think 2021, in the year of 2021, the beginning of 2021, that was when I officially cut off all my connection to toxic relationships, men who were, still in alignment with the version of me that didn't fully know my worth, that didn't fully own who my worth, um, the version of me that was still accepting crumbs and settling for crumbs, okay? I said goodbye to that in at the end of 2020, in the beginning of 2021. So, 2021 was when I officially decided there's no more of that. There's none of that is going to happen anymore. And I ended up manifesting. Okay, so this happened within, I want to say this happened within 2 weeks, okay? Because and I also did a video on this that I'm probably gonna take off of my channel and put inside of Safe to Receive. So it's not in there yet. So if you wanted to check it out, go check it out. It's how I manifested my specific person in 2 weeks. Um, it was a new moon. I did a ritual on the new moon. It was a new moon in Leo. 2 weeks later, I got into that energy again. So see, this is the key thing is the energy of waiting. The energy of waiting, the energy of thinking that you have to wait. The energy of thinking that you have to just let it fall out of the sky. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's a time and place for being in that energy, and I dive super deep into that inside of Safe to Receive. Okay. When you get into the energy of it's happening now, which is what I did, okay? Literally, it was 2 weeks that passed after that new moon ritual I did, and on the full moon, I got this feeling, okay, that was like, "No, you have to step into being loved now. You have to step into the love that you want right now." Okay. And there were some things that were happening that was really stimulating that. Again, I talk about it in my video, how I manifested my specific person in 2 weeks. Once I stepped into that on the full moon, okay, I was like, nope, it's happening now. I got on a dating app. I did my thing on my dating app and I matched with specifically 3 men I matched with that were two of them were in the six figures range, okay, wealthy men. One of them was a millionaire. And that's the one that I talk about on this channel. I actually did a video with him, a live video with him. I'm also probably going to take that one down as well and put it somewhere exclusive. Um so watch it while you can. Within I want to say I don't even want to say 24 hours of me stepping into that energy, I manifested those 3 men. I went on 3 dates within, I think, the next week. Okay, the next week, I went on 3 dates, and I was experiencing another level of and quality of men that I had never experienced before. And it completely calibrated me to higher standards, higher expectations, and solidifying me in the belief that I can be loved and I can be loved abundantly. I can be loved, you know, devotionally, right? I can be loved in all these different types of ways, right? I can have gifts sent to me to my doorstep after the first date. I can have a man Uber me to my date and, you know, cover everything. I can like literally I can have a man pay for, one of the men that I was dating, he paid for my I wanted to do this like fasting thing for 30 days and he paid for my fasting thing, it was like $500. Like, I'm telling you, like, and this was within like, after the first date, okay? After the first date, I'm getting $500 plus gifts sent to me. So, it was a real recalibration and rewiring that I wasn't used to, okay? And that was another thing that was an instant manifestation. It began in 2021, but at this point, 2025 and into 2026, every time I go out, okay, I'm manifesting a man just like that. Okay, every time I go out, I'm manifesting a man just like that. Even if he might look like on the outside, okay, because just like my birthday, right? The days that leading up to today have been like crazy filled with instant manifestations, especially around um men and like men providing for me. Okay. Within the past 24 to 48 hours, I have manifested um the opportunity. So I manifested the opportunity to go to the Burner Boy concert, which is so funny because I did not even know that Burna Boy was coming to Seattle, but I always thought to myself, I wonder when Burna Boy is coming to Seattle because we have something here in Seattle called Blast Fest, and it happens every year in the summer, and it's where African artists um come and like it's just big festival for African artists, and it's getting bigger and bigger every single year, and I'm, like, thinking to myself I would always think to myself, "I wonder when Burna Boy is gonna come. I wonder when Burna Boy is gonna come." So, this weekend of my birthday, I found out last minute Burna Boy was gonna be here. I ended up getting, invited, okay, or I would say offered free tickets to go to his concert within, like, seconds of me thinking about actually, I wanna tell this story right. If I'm gonna tell this story, let me tell it right, okay? Not only was I thinking about, "Oh, I wonder when Burna Boy is gonna come," I started seeing on my Instagram feed posts about winning free tickets to the Burna Boy concert, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh, this would be really nice, like, this would be really fun to win some free tickets." So I did the little thing to win the free tickets, and then I moved about my day. And then I started thinking, I wonder if there's gonna be after party because there's always usually an after party when there's a concert, a African artist concert going on. So I saw that there was an after party, and um a guy that I know personally who throws events out here in Seattle was doing the after party event. And so I'm like, "Oh, somebody that I know is doing the event." So I called him to see, like, how it was gonna be and what I can expect, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, Imma put you on the VIP list. You can come to the after party event, and we might also have some extra, tickets to go to the concert, so if you wanna come, you can come." And I'm like, all of this happened within not even 48 hours, like, it was so fast that everything was coming together, and I'm like, "Man, I like this, okay? I like this. I like this." Now, that was a buildup because the days before that, I had manifested a $1,000 weekend, okay? Manifesting $1,000 in a weekend. That was something that I had intended for. I manifested a 10% conversion rate on my sales page. It was a 2% conversion rate before. If any of you are in business, you know that the industry standard for a sales page is like 2%. Depending on your industry, it's like 2%. Now, I always consider myself to be above average and above the standard. So I was like, we're gonna go up to 10%. Okay. 10% is better. Within that same weekend, my conversion rate went up to 10%. Okay. I manifested a $1,000 weekend. And also, I have been running Facebook ads recently for my business. And I remember thinking within this past week that I would love to just be able to kind of just have a bigger budget for my ads so that way I can just run them and not have to worry about the ads turning off because the budget limit I hit the budget limit too soon and I can't keep running them, right? Because when you're running ads, there's a certain amount of time that you want to let your ads run to generate a profit but also generate data because your ads need to learn who your ideal audience is and who your ideal person is that needs your service. So I'm like, okay, I need this extra buffer. And I was thinking about that for like maybe the first portion of my day. And I go onto my Facebook ads account and I go into the billing section and I noticed right underneath my billing, where they show me how much I'm being billed, there's this little thing called the payment threshold, and there's an edit sign right next to the number. Okay. And I'm like, oh, I can edit my payment threshold. At that point, it was like $50. So every $50 I'm getting charged. I edit it and they're like, oh, um, if you want to make your payment threshold bigger, edit it right here and you can make your payment threshold bigger. And I'm like, payment threshold bigger. Okay, let me see how much it'll go up to. So I edited it and my payment threshold had the ability to go up to $900. I had no idea that I had access to that because when I first started running ads, you can't change it because, they don't know you. They want to know if you're going to like consistently pay the bill when you're being billed. So they don't let you make your payment threshold bigger. I was able to adjust it to $900. So that's $900 of ad spend that I can use now to just give my ads the ability to just breathe, but also find my winning ad and be able to grow my business. So it was like a whole bunch of stuff happening within this past week. The manifestations, the instant manifestations have been wild. Honestly, I can go on and on. And I ended up making my own little manifestation journal and it's called the manifestation journal for my instant manifestations, for my manifestations where I feel like I have collapsed time. Okay. That is called the Everything Works Out for Me journal. So not only have I manifested those things really quickly, but there's a bunch of other things that I've also manifested really quickly. Um, Within this year, okay? I manifested flexible rent payments. I mean, I wasn't even really trying to manifest that. But one morning, it was time to pay rent. And I was like, it would be nice if I could just pay half now and half later so I can play with this other half of my money. And I went into my rent portal, and all of a sudden, there was this thing that says, pay your rent in installments. And I'm like, I ain't never seen this before. Where did this come from? Okay. Yeah. I clicked on it and it was like, pay your rent in 2 payments. I'm like, that that wasn't even like a couple hours. Like that happened fast. Okay. I manifested a free puppy for my daughter this summer. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get a puppy, but my daughter was like, "Please, I need a friend. I need a puppy." And she was going through some things with one of her friends that I felt like it was making her feel lonely. It was making her feel like, she really did need a friend, someone to just kind of like be there. And puppies and dogs, they're great lovers, they're great friends. Okay. So I was like, you know what? We'll do it. But I wasn't sure how I wanted it to happen. Okay. But I ended up thinking to myself, the easiest way for me to decide on a puppy is if somebody basically just gives me the puppy for free and gives me all the stuff so that I don't have to like stress about it and have to choose and figure out all the things. Like, I would just like somebody to just give me a puppy. I'm sure there's a puppy that somebody would just, I mean, usually they don't like, that's a hard thing to fathom in Seattle because puppies are like, especially Chihuahua puppies, they're like $500 plus. Even if you go to a shelter, you're paying maybe $300, $250, but that's not even including all their stuff, you know? So I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I wanna spend like $1,000 on a puppy or $700 on a puppy right now. So I put a little ad out on Craigslist. I didn't specify anything. I didn't say I wanted a free puppy. I didn't say I wanted a free puppy that came with all its stuff. I didn't say that I wanted a specific breed of puppy. I did say I wanted a small Chihuahua puppy. I did say that because I realized that a Chihuahua puppy would be the best breed for the both of us because of the energetics of a Chihuahua puppy, what they spiritually represent. They have really big spiritual energy. Chihuahua puppies are really small, but their spirits are really big. In the spiritual world, Chihuahua puppies, their spirit animal is huge. It's like bigger than most animals because their spirit is strong. That's why Chihuahua puppies think that they bigger than what they really are, okay? And they they will make a big dog, start whining, okay, in fear. That's how little chihuahuas be rocking. Um, and that is exactly how our puppy is. She is a little, I mean, she's sweet, but she definitely be like, "Don't play with me." She try to assert her dominance, but it doesn't work over here. Um, so I knew that I wanted a chihuahua puppy. Put out the Craigslist ad. Within a day, a woman messages me and she's like, "Hey, I have a chihuahua puppy. I have a mini chihuahua puppy. I have to get rid of her like today because my husband is deathly allergic to this puppy. I have all of her stuff. I have her crate, I have her playpen, I have her food, I have her leash, her harness. She has all her shots. She's healthy. I just have to bring her to somewhere that will take her and take care of her that I think will be a good home. Cause she knew I had a daughter. I did let them know that I have a daughter and, so she was like, "Oh, I wanna bring her to a family with a child," right? So she was like, "I need to bring her to you, like, tomorrow, okay?" And I was like, "Okay, we'll take her. I don't have to I don't have to pay for nothing. Thank you." That makes the choice that much easier. So she brings her and she not only brings all her stuff, but this lady gives me 2 years worth of puppy food. 2 years worth of puppy food. I'm like, "Oh, I don't have to even worry about buying food." Okay? Um, so that was a manifestation where I was like, yeah, that was one of those manifestations that I wasn't really expecting to come through that fast, but it did. All right, I've been talking about my manifestations for a while now, but I'm just wondering if y'all are ready to hear some powerful things that I realized I was doing that was getting me into the instant manifestations, like specific things that I was doing that was getting me into these powerful, instant, collapsing time types of manifestations. Okay. Not like, because I know for most people, when we're desiring something, there's this tinge of I have to wait for it, or there's this tinge of mm, that's a lot to be expecting. Like, don't expect for that to happen. Okay. Um, or you could just not even think that you can have that type of thing at all. Okay. Or that it can happen for you at all. Whatever the case, there's a few things that I realized that I was doing that was allowing me to just have the things collapse, like the timelines collapse, okay? Even for my birthday, which is so crazy. Last night was so fun. I was in the VIP section of the one of the Burna Boy after parties, and um I ended up, so before the night started, okay, I did my little manifestation technique. And one of the things that I was wanting to manifest, I said to myself, I was like, I want to meet someone that I'm going to have a really good time with, that um also that I can have a really good potentially have a really good relationship with. I also said I want to meet a man that I could potentially marry tonight. Okay? I love doing that. I love just playing with that. So, and this example that I'm about to share with you, actually, there's a woman inside of Safe to Receive. Within one day, I believe, of her going through Safe to Receive and the bonus trainings, she ended up manifesting a similar situation to this, okay? Which I'm about to get into. So I'm gonna share this manifestation, and then I promise I'm gonna get into what techniques and what you need to understand to be able to collapse time and instantly manifest. Okay. So I set that intention before I had my time last night, and I was in the VIP section. I was having a good time with my friend who got me in the section. I love him so much. He's always like so solid when it comes to making sure I have a good time when I go out, and making sure I'm in the VIP arena when I'm with him. So I was there with him, and he got me some drinks, and I was vibing. I was having a good time. And then it started getting more crowded, more people started coming in. And on the section next to me, I turn my head and I see somebody that I actually dated last year. And we dated for a few months, and then we stopped dating because he had stuff going on, and I hadn't heard from him again. So that was kind of like, nothing had happened for the separation to happen. It was just like he just kind of unselected himself, basically. In dating, men will like unselect themselves. And this will happen in a lot of different ways. And whenever they unselect themselves, you have to see it as a woman as, oh, he's unselecting himself. He's taking himself out of the market because he can't my energy, he can't live up to whatever it is my energy is requiring. So that was essentially what I chalked it up to. But nonetheless, that didn't take away from the fact that I really enjoy this guy. I really enjoy hanging out with him. I really enjoy being around him. I really enjoy my time that I spend with him. And when we were dating, I was like, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I like him. I like him." I liked everything about him, pretty much everything about him. There was nothing that I didn't like about this man. So if he chose to to keep going with me, that would have been a good thing on his end, honestly, if he chose to keep going going with me because I was like really, really enamored with his charm or with his energy. So I turn my head and I see him in the section over. I hadn't seen him in almost a year. It had been that long. Um, so I'm shocked, okay? I'm shocked I see this guy and I'm like, "Should I go over there?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not gonna go over there. I'm gonna wait till he sees me." And sure enough, he sees me, and when he sees me, he's like, "Oh my gosh, like, I missed you so much, da 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 da." Like, it was just this, like, firecracker reunion, and I was so happy. I was so happy to see him, and he was like, "Whatever you want, everything is on me. Get whatever you want." Like, oh, but like, it was a time, and I was like, "Man, was this the manifestation? Was this the guy that I manifested when I said I wanna manifest a really good time with someone and also someone who could be my potential husband?" Because I had always kind of felt like, "Oh, this is a really good match for me." So, boom, another instant manifestation, okay? And not only that, but a lot of polarity was happening in the time that he was there with me. Um Oh, it looks like Aleva's up. Hey, sweetie. Oh, you wasn't? Okay. Are you good? Did you need a nighty whitey or are you good? Okay, all right. Um, all right, so that was another instant manifestation, which was a fun instant manifestation. And it created a lot of polarity in that moment to where like whatever was going on before when he was like distancing himself, that is not the case anymore. Because when I tell you this man was like hovering and he was like watching me dance with other guys, he was like, "No, no, no, I'm not jealous. It's okay. Do your thing." But I'm like, "No, he don't like this." He does not like whatever he did um to distance himself from me, and like I felt the polarity so strong. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear from him within the next 24 to 48 hours. Um, and that's how that works, you know? It's like the energy, the momentum. Okay, so that was my excitement, me talking about all the exciting things that I've been manifesting instantly, fast. I've manifested a whole bunch of other things just like that. I'm not gonna keep going because literally we will be on here for a very long time. But I did say in my email blast that I was gonna be on here for some time. Plan on being on here for like 3. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do 3 hours, but definitely we're gonna hit 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. So now I want to get into some of the things that I did to collapse time so that there is no like waiting or confusion or I don't know, let me. And a lot of things that women will also do is they'll be like, well, I don't know if I should force it. Like they'll kind of gaslight themselves out of their ability to be able to manifest at quantum speed. And it's not your fault because people, like society has been conditioned to gaslight themselves out of being powerful, out of being their own magical genie, okay? Out of being the one who is in control and in charge, okay? So I'm going to get into what really start embodying that allows me to tap into this, okay? So, let's see, because I can get into all of this. Let's get into the difference between hoping and energetic commanding, because I think this is really the biggest thing that keeps you from stepping into that instant manifestation. All right. Hoping and waiting is something that you probably don't think that you're doing when you are manifesting. However, there's a key element to manifestation that a lot of people leave out, and that is the embodiment aspect of manifestation. That is the embodiment aspect of manifestation. Hoping and waiting is when you're not including the embodiment part. What does embodying your manifestation look like? To me, the embodiment part is always feeling and knowing that it's already done, and moving and acting like it's already done. So it's the moving and acting like part that I think people don't really know how to rest and relax into. Okay. I think people know how to act like and perform into it, but they don't really know how to rest and receive the embodiment. Okay. So, what's the difference between acting and like performing? Acting and performing is the same vibration as like hoping, right? It's like you're still in a place of hope that something will change. This is something that I came across a lot in women that I would get on coaching calls with, especially when I was doing like free coaching calls and talking to a lot of different women in different phases and states in their life, is that they would desire something. Maybe they would desire, more stability, or they would desire a new home, or maybe they would desire something else. The key element that I always found that stops things from changing now is that they actually don't fully embody that they can have it now. So, how do you embody that you can have it now? Okay. You have to move like it's happening now. For example, I'm going to use me manifesting my new home as an example, because that was the first example that I mentioned that I talked about when it came to manifesting. When I manifested my new home, there was 3 months, almost 3 months of time that I was waiting for it to come. When I stepped into the instant manifestation, I moved out of hoping into embodiment. The embodiment looked like, if I am in the state of the wish fulfilled, meaning every other element that produces a manifestation is being activated. My thoughts are being activated, which represents air, the element of air. My emotions are being activated, which represents the element of water. What I see, my visualizations, being able to envision what I desire is being activated through the element of fire. All of these things are being activated. All of these elements of manifestation are being activated. Embodying my manifestation is none of those things. Embodying my manifestation means it's done already. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. If your manifestation is done already, If you already have a new home that's waiting for you, if you already have a new car that's waiting for you, if you already have a man who wants to love you and treat you right and ready to make you his wife or whatever it is you desire, that's there for you. If that's done already, what are you going to be moving like? And that's the question that I asked myself that I started answering in order for me to instantly manifest. Answering that question is pivotal because you don't realize how you are behaving that is still embodying the person or the woman that isn't in the state of the wish fulfilled, that isn't receiving what she wants already. So when I asked myself that question in the example of manifesting my new home, that was when I realized, oh my God, I don't really believe that I have a new home. I don't really believe that I have a home. All this time I've been wanting a home. All this time I've been wanting my own place. All this time I've been affirming it. I've been visualizing it. I've been emotionally like trying tapping into, especially when I did my ritual, was really when I stepped into the emotional state of having it, which is important. And I believe that's what really set up my manifestation to be aligned with all the perfect circumstances was the emotional part. Every element of manifestation, really, when you know how to work it, is producing your ideal reality. When I asked myself that question and I realized that I didn't really believe it, I was doing all the other things, but I wasn't behaving like it was done already. So, this is the thing that I used to say to women who I would get on coaching calls with, especially women who were like really wanting to manifest something now. They needed to manifest a new home now. They needed to manifest the money that they needed for something now. They needed to manifest like now because the resistance was so strong. In my case, moving into a new home, my resistance was so strong. I was super frustrated. I was super angry because of my circumstances. The resistance was so strong. I needed it now. I needed relief now. My relief came in with the embodiment aspect. So the question I had to answer is, what does the woman that has this thing now, what is she acting like? Like, let's get real. Let's get out of, you know, um, the emotional part, the thought part, the visualization part. But let's get into the earthy part. That's the real part. The earthy part is the real part. The earthy part is the part where you don't take action. And this is how I reframe this really away from like action and hard work, because it's not about action and hard work. It's about moving. It's about moving like it's done already. It's about moving like life already has it for you. And for a lot of women, they're not manifesting instantly. They're not collapsing time because they're not moving like it's done already. They might be feeling like it's done already emotionally, thought wise, visualizing it every day. But once you start moving like it's done already, that's when the timeline collapses. That's when things happen instantly. That's when you become a master manifestress, in all honesty. So I answered that question for myself, and the answer was, if I had this thing right now, like literally I've already had it, it was a done deal. If I already have a home, what does the woman that the woman I am now, connected to that woman who already has that new home, right? How is she how is she lining up with her right now? It's not necessarily about how is she acting right now because in that current reality that I was in, I didn't have the new home, right? I wasn't it hadn't caught up yet. Meaning I was still living with my parents. So how do I line up with that version with her? How do I line up with that woman that is her already? And so I said to myself, hmm, so if I'm the woman, if I'm in alignment with the woman who has her own home right now, then I would probably reach out to several different apartment complexes. I would probably reach out to like I had actually went into the state where I wrote an entire list. I wrote an entire list out of apartment complexes that I could call and s- I wouldn't even say see if they had a place for me. My mentality in me writing out that list wasn't let me see if they have a place for me because the woman who already has a home isn't thinking like that. Okay. I was in the state of let me let me grab my hand out and reach out and grab my new home because it's there already. That was my mentality. My mentality was, "Oh, let me just go ahead and reach out and take what's already mine cuz one of these places is going to, offer me the perfect place." Like because the perfect place is already there, right? So this is the thing. If you know it's already done, then you're going to move like it. And when I wrote out that list, when started calling that list, it was the third place that I called that instantly was like, "Oh yeah, we have a two-bedroom apartment." The family that had been living there for 15 years just moved out. Okay, we usually don't have availability, so it's really crazy that you called at this time. They just moved out. We can get you in there, we can get you situated, let us know like what you're working with, um what your finances are looking like, and we can get you in the apartment. And I'm like, that that was crazy. Okay? It was because I was embodying the truth that it was done already. So the embodiment part is moving like it's done already. If every day you're getting up, okay, and you're wanting to manifest a certain amount of money, okay, what does the version of you who has that certain amount of money, what does she move like? Okay, not forcing it, but what does she move like? It's an element of play, okay? And I go deep into this inside of Safe to Receive. It's you're now playing with the embodiment of you having the thing already. You're playing with how you're lining up with the woman who already has the thing through your movement. So it's not about hard work. It's not about doing the specific thing so that you can get this result. Because I was doing that for a long time. I was busting my butt, working really hard, doing different types of things. I've told y'all what I like how much I worked and all the different things I was doing in my Stop Telling Women to Get a Job video. You all know. If you don't know, you can watch that video. That didn't work. That didn't work because I the embodiment part is the earth element, and the earth element is the part that gets so distorted that people are so um that people are experiencing or expressing the distorted version of. And the distorted version of that is hard work, forcing it, making things happen. When really it's about moving and playing with the possibility through your through the things that you choose to do, through the way that you choose to live. Let me know if y'all are following me so far. I have a couple people in the room. I'm gonna drink some of this because my voice is kind of making me my voice. Okay, I don't know if my voice is gonna be able to um make it past 3 hours or 2.5 hours. So, ooh, all right. So that is the way that you collapse time for instant manifestation, especially around things that you have a lot of resistance towards. This is key. Things that you have a lot of resistance towards. This method and this way is through looking at that earth element and how you can move so you can line up with the version of yourself that already has the thing. Phew. That's one way that it just comes together, because I was no longer moving from the version of me that didn't have a home. I was moving from the version of me that was like, of course I have a home. Let me get this list of places that I can call that will be able to take me in, that probably has a space available. Okay, I had a long list and it was like apartments that was all over the states or all over the state. Okay. All over the state. I was so lucky and blessed and was so aligned that I got a place in literally one of the best parts of Seattle. I had got a place in one of the best parts of Seattle. I'm living around $1 million houses. Okay. $1 million houses are surrounding me. A great area, a great community, you know. It does have its things, but for the most part, it was the perfect place. So that is how you collapse time in that way, and that is also how you get out of that state of hoping and waiting, especially when there's a lot of resistance towards the thing that you really desire. Okay, Khadijah says, "Yes, I am following." Khadijah is here and she is following. Thank you, Khadijah. All right. So, let's see. I will get into another thing. I'm not going to get into everything, but I'm going to get into another thing that is one of the main things that I do that collapses time, okay, for my manifestations. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I can ask you all what you would want to know because I have a list of one of the two things that I'm going to share um to teach you all. So there is why feminine energy manifests faster than masculine manifesting. There is how, if you want to know how I became a genie level like manifestress, that's another thing I can get into specifically. Um, why desire leads to thought, leads to your reality happening within hours. So basically that thing that I was just talking about when it comes to the elements and manifesting, right? How that lines up to the point to where your manifestation comes in immediately. Then there's why women block manifestations. and how I healed those blocks. The specific ways that I've seen women block their manifestations that they women do all the time that I've healed, okay? And then I already got into the difference between hoping versus energetic commanding. So the energetic commanding is you stepping into that earth energy, that earth element when it comes to manifesting, okay? Energetic commanding is you stepping into your queen energy of the earth. The earth is the queen. She rules here. She rules this domain. She's the fertility. She's the fruition. So, for that physical manifestation to come through, you got to step into that earth energy, which I just detailed how you do that, how you begin to do that. So, let me know if any of those you would want to hear about. I'm going to pick one in the next 60 seconds if nobody picks. Um let's see. Why women block fast manifest. I feel like getting into the blocks might be really good, or talking about how I became a genie level, like a genie level, okay, manifester or manifestress. I'm doing this thing where I'm taking every word that we typically use and just assume that we should also be using these words for women, like manifester, um masterclass, um like different things that have a masculine energy tied to it. Oh, it's 333 over here, y'all. 333. Angel number 333. um I'm changing those words to be more in alignment with feminine energy. So manifestress, mistress class, you know, that's what we're gonna go with. Khadija says genie level. Okay, how I became a genie level manifestress, and also how you can become a genie level manifestress as well. So let's get into it. Okay. Let's get into that because that's actually a really deep and esoteric subject. And you have to start, this is really identity shifting right here. And the only way you can truly identity shift into this level of manifesting at this speed is if you know who you are. You learn more about who you are as a woman and your nature as a woman as it relates to the genie, as it relates to the jinn, because that's where that word comes from, the jinn, the genie. All right. I actually have a book. Um, I'm not gonna get up right now and go bring it, but I might take a picture of it, or I'll probably include this book inside of um my offerings that I'm gonna talk about in a second. But genie, the word genie comes from the word jinn. And the jinn is a entity that is linked to the primordial birth of this planet, the primordial spirit of this planet. This is a real spiritual energy, a real spiritual entity. And it's linked to the element of water. It's linked to the element of water. So in a lot of like mythical folklore and things like that, especially for cultures that believe the jinn is evil, and a lot of cultures believe the jinn is evil, and that's because the jinn connects so deeply to the feminine universe, the powerful feminine, anything linked to powerful femininity is in some way, form, or fashion going to be demonized and made to be or seem like it's evil. So the jinn is linked to the element of water, and as you all know, or you should know, if you've been following me for some time, water is the feminine. Water represents the feminine. Water is connected to the primordial creation of this earth. We are living on earth, but earth is living on water. Okay? So this force, this primal feminine force, this is where the word genie comes from. And the genie, okay, is the primordial essence that unlocks your it unlocks your ability to be your god self, to be your god self or to be your goddess self, because this is the origin of all life. Okay, think about, it's almost like the energy or the energetic being that created the planet, the energetic energy, the energetic being that created all life. This is tapping into your God self. And as a woman, you are connected to that jinn, that genie energy through number one, through your spine, okay? Through your spine, because your spine represents the Kundalini and your spine represents the primal force of life. So through your spine, as a woman, you have a direct connection to God. You have a direct connection to your goddess self. And this is why women are more flexible than men. This is why women are able to their bodies are able to open up in ways that a man's body typically cannot. Men's body are more stiff, more linear. Women's bodies are more flexible and more open. Okay, this also lines up with why tapping into your body is also another level of instant manifestation. Women have a deeper connection to be able to manifest at quantum speeds because we have a direct connection to God. We have a direct connection to the divine. And this is that genie level activation. This is that genie level identity shift. And when you start to see yourself and think of yourself as a magical genie, right? All you have to do is rub yourself the right way, and your wish is your command. Then the universe starts to line up with that truth. Okay? Whenever something is not true on a universal level, and you are like choosing to live by it, it usually makes your life um it fills your life with a lot of struggle, with a lot of resistance, with a lot of negative emotions, okay? And that's not always a bad thing because that's your power center. Actually, I would say it's never really a bad thing. The only time is a bad thing is when you stay there forever and you don't evolve, you don't grow, you don't expand, you don't step into your genie, right? And you level up. You level up, you level up, and you level up. It's like the game, the video game of life. You keep leveling up, you keep getting better, you keep getting to the next phase, the next stage of evolution. When you stop doing that, that's when you start dying spiritually. Okay. Or for those of you who are sensitive to that word, I don't know how else I can say it, but you're stopping yourself from being who you are, which is a creatrix, which is a manifestress, which is a genie. So identity shifting into the understanding that you are connected to the most powerful force in the universe. And when you rub yourself the right way, everything will come to you just as you intended it to, just as you desired it to. There is no surprise. There is no, oh, this is a miracle. There is no, shock when things happen and work out for you. It's more so of a like, oh, all right, yeah, that's what was supposed to happen. That's what I was expecting. That's what happens for me because I'm a genie. Okay? I'm the genie in the bottle. This is also why men, right, when men are with women and they understand or at least treat a woman like their personal genie, their life starts to get better and better. Men who come into a woman's life and they use her magic, okay? They use her magic and she lets him use her magic. Okay, and he doesn't pour back into her. He doesn't um basically treats her like his slave, right? And in a lot of mythologies and like things about genies, okay, it's not just representing the woman, but it's representing the primordial energy of the planet, the primordial spirits of the planet. This is why genies are also depicted as men or women because it's like a bloodline of people. It's a lineage of people. And women have a director or more direct connection to that original bloodline. Okay, because they carry the mitochondrial DNA. You carry the DNA of everyone, of everything, especially black women or Afro-Indigenous women. Um, and this is why also people are, I would say, racist people who are racist, people who are, very like, oh, don't mate with certain types of people, specifically black Afro-Indigenous people. Um, when people are like that, that's not for no reason. People say, oh, it's because of my skin color that you hate me. It's not because of your skin color, baby. It's something far deeper than that. It's because of your genes. It's because of your DNA. It's because of the blueprint that your soul carries, especially black women. Okay. People of other races, when they get with a black or Afro-Indigenous person that especially has that DNA awakened, because sometimes you can have the primordial energy, that genie energy, but it's asleep, it's dormant because of whatever conditioning um you have mentally gone through or physical dormancy because of how horrible your diet is and how um the things that you eat, the things that you've been eating all your life, it can also cause it to be dormant, right? So DNA is also something you have to awaken. So one thing that I'm going to share is if you want to start really manifesting on a genie like level, I'm going to share one element that you can start taking, and I will save the rest of the elements for my offering that I'm going to share. But start taking gold. Start taking gold. Start consuming gold. I know y'all are like, gold, how you eat gold? How you consume gold? So if you don't know already, there's a way that you can consume the element of gold because we actually need a plethora of elements that are no longer included in our foods. They're no longer included in our agriculture, because of the way that agriculture is being done now today, it doesn't honor the earth. It's very machine like. It's very I would say it's like it's very rapey like. It's very rapey like the way that agriculture is done nowadays, because the soil isn't being nurtured anymore. The soil isn't being replenished anymore. It's just being like forced to reproduce food, forced to reproduce crops, forced to reproduce. And so, because of this, the nutrients and minerals and things that used to be inside of our foods, like the gold, the silvers, the platinums, or and a whole plethora of other elements, it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. We still get our basic nutrients, barely, but the nutrients that we really need to live like our God self, to live like our genie in our genie level of manifestation. And this is why I was playing no games about investing into my health from 2020 until now. I do not play any games about my health. I don't play any games about investing into my health. You guys, we're gonna get into health on this channel. I've been saying that for a while, and I kind of been like teeter-tottering around it. Um, but health and beauty, we are gonna be getting into the real truth around that, because it's not just about the vanity metrics of beauty. It's literally about your DNA and how your DNA is being tampered with. Your hormones are being tampered with in so many different ways. So this actually affects your ability to manifest at a genie level, okay? At an instant level. The minerals in your body literally dictates how well you're able to manifest, because your body is also sending out a frequency into the universe. So if you're lacking minerals, certain minerals in your body, and I might not be saying everything exactly like correct when it comes to the word minerals, because gold, I don't know if gold is a mineral per se. It probably is. But I do know that gold, if you begin taking um gold in like the drop form, also, mm, I will probably let you know some really good sources so that you can take gold, because some places you don't want to get it from the wrong people, because um it can be toxic. Okay, they can do it the wrong way, and you can end up, you know I wouldn't say overdosing on gold, but you just want to make sure you get it from people who know what they're doing, basically. But get some gold. Start with gold drops, okay? Because gold is the element that is going to, number one, amplify your heart's energy. Gold is ruled by the sign of Leo in astrology. Leo rules over the heart. The heart rules over your electromagnetic field. Okay. And your electromagnetic field is what's sending out signals for your desires. Believe it or not, your heart is sending out the signals for your desires and your manifestations. And also, your heart is what is allowing you to receive those manifestations. That's why there's some spiritual coaches. I know there's this one guy on the online teaches you how to manifest abundance and manifest a bunch of money and manifest financial blessings and everything. And one of the key things he talks about is opening up your heart. That's the main way that you do it. But do you know this part, right? This part is important to know, because even you can do all the things with the other elements, with the air element, with your thoughts and thinking about what you want all the time, with your emotions and feeling like you have it, and with your visualizations and seeing it, but you have to embody it This is what embodiment looks like real talk, like real embodiment. I'm saying real talk, like real embodiment, because I feel like I come across a lot of spiritual teachers that teach about manifestation, and they're a little bit too ungrounded for me. And that's something that makes me very unique in my approach because I have a lot of earth in my chart. Actually, earth is the most dominant element in my chart. So this is how I know this, okay? And I'm not one of those earth elements that are like super stuck or like in the distorted element of earth, which are most earth signs or people who have a lot of earth, they're in that distorted energy to where they can't connect spiritually. They can't understand things on a higher spiritual level because they're stuck in the carnality of earth. They're stuck in the conditioning of earth, working super hard and all this stuff. So, um, get you some gold, okay? Get you some gold, start taking some gold drops, okay? And start to kind of amplify your energy using the gold. Um so okay, I went through a couple things for the genie level activation and how I've been able to step into the genie level activation. So, first is the identity shifting into knowing that you are as a woman connected to God. You are God. You are the primordial feminine. You are the mitochondrial DNA. You are the universe. Once you identity shift into that, nothing is out of like limitations for you. Nothing is out of the box for you because you're seeing yourself now in alignment with who you actually are. The second thing is the physical aspect or the physical part. And this is being able to activate your DNA, not just through identity shifting mentally, but actually embodying through activating your DNA that truth. Okay. Gold heals your DNA. So does the sun. Okay. This is why I was bringing up Leo energy, and um Leo energy, the how that's connected to the heart, the electromagnetic field, because the sun is also the ruler of Leo. And if you go in the sun every single day and you go and you stare at that sun and you go and you let yourself soak in the sun, no sunscreen. Stop wearing sunscreen. Stop it. God damn it. I get so annoyed when I see people putting on, especially black people, putting on sunscreen. Stop doing that. Do not do that. Do not wear sunscreen. SPF my ass. Stop doing that. Stop putting on sunscreen. Okay. There's a lot of conditioning, just so much conditioning. Am I a dermatologist? No, I'm not a dermatologist, but I am basically a metaphysician, and I also know how to ground these spiritual feminine principles into magnetic results, physical results. Okay, so what I have understood and learned about the sun is your ultimate portal to like instantly being able to manifest things, but you have to have a relationship with the sun, a healthy relationship with the sun. You don't need to be wearing sunscreen. The only reason that people feel the need to wear sunscreen is because their diets are shitty and they're not eating correctly and they're not living correctly. So when they go in the sun is like, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know this DNA. I don't know these genes. These are not the original genes. This is not the original DNA. What's going on here? and then the sun burn your ass up. This is real, I'm telling you. And then the sun burn you, okay? For Black people, it's itty bitty burns, maybe some skin discoloration here and there when it's like, "Ah, you don't need to be eating like that. You don't need to be living like that. You gotta shift it up. You gotta change it up. You have to um be in alignment with me because I'm the source and I'm channeling, right? The sun, the earth, the moon, these are all planets that are is a reflection of us, and it's helping us and allowing us to manifest at quantum speed. Bruja says, and they're not using good skincare either. Hey, Bruja, that's my mom, y'all. My mom's in the room. Okay, I'm gonna make you a moderator just so I can have a moderator in the room. Um, so the sun is crucial. So if you've been wearing a lot of sunscreen, if you wear a lot of sunscreen, if you always feel like you need to put on sunscreen, just stop doing that. Okay? First thing you need to do is just stop wearing the sunscreen and start changing up your diet. The number one thing that will help your skin to stop getting burned in the sun is to change the types of fats you are consuming. All right? Any types of what is it? I want to say plant oils that you are consuming, not putting on your skin, but that you're cooking with and consuming. That means coconut oil, olive oil, um what else? Any kind of plant or seed oils that you're using, that you're eating, that you're consuming. Sunflower oil is horrible to consume. Um there's sunflower oil. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with a whole list of that and put it inside my offering so you all know. These plant oils are creating rancid fats inside of your body. Not just that, but also the synthetic oils, vegetable oils, canola oils. Okay. All of that is creating synthetic fats in your body. Okay. It's also changing the structure of your DNA and your cells. A lot of y'all don't know this. You have to start switching out the oils because the oils is like represents um your cells. Like it creates the cells in your body. So the aligned types of fats that you want to be eating, okay? Number 1, bone marrow fats. 1000% bone marrow fats. Bone marrow fats. The fats that are coming out of the bone marrow of an animal have stem cells inside of it. The stem cells and the cells inside of that fat is in alignment with the DNA of the earth, and your body is more receptive to it. If you're going to consume plant oils or seed oils when you're cooking it, okay, the only kind of oil I would say is kind of okay is avocado oil. But you want to just completely transition to either bone marrow oils, beef tallows, high vitamin butters, um, fats that are actually coming from fats that are in alignment with the earth. Everything else is either synthetic or it'll create rancid fats inside of your body. So I'm getting into a lot of stuff here, but this is like real talk. People are going into the sun getting sunburns thinking that they need sunscreen It's literally blocking off the information that the sun is giving you so that your energy can be more and more powerful and in sync with source energy. So line yourself up with the sun, okay? Get yourself in alignment with the sun. These are some of the things that I think is really pivotal in becoming a genie level like manifestress, okay? It's truly the embodiment aspect in this earth element that you want to tap into, but also not just the embodiment part, but also the physical part, also the DNA part. So the sun up levels your DNA. The sun um transforms your DNA. The sun is what allows your DNA to keep evolving and keep getting better. People when they see me, they say, "Oh, you look like you're getting like younger every year. You look like you're getting more beautiful every year. Like there's something about you that's getting like when I look at you, you look like better and better every year." It's because and I actually need to get better at with this cuz for the past year or so, I haven't really been doing it. But the sun out here on the West Coast is a different type of sun. Like the sun out here on the West Coast, especially where I live, when it's summertime, that sun is so healing. It is so like activating. Okay. So I will just sun soak for the whole entire summer. No sunburn, no skin issues. Actually heals my skin. And every time I'm absorbing the sun into my skin, like I feel the nutrition, I feel the up leveling. The sun also is what keeps your spine in alignment and your spine healthy. This is all coming back to the energy of Leo. The energy of Leo. Shout out to all my Leo women who are watching this right now. Shout out to y'all because Leo women, I also have a Leo moon in Vedic astrology in my Vedic chart. Okay. They know how to be in alignment with source. They already, if they're a healthy Leo, okay, they know how to be the queen of their reality. They know how to step into that power, that magnetic knowing that I am God. I am the goddess. I am the genie. And I'm going to play with my reality. I'm going to play with how these manifestations are going to come. I already know they're going to come because I'm me. Because I'm me, duh. Heavy Leo energy. So I think that's the most that I'm gonna get into with the genie. Like honestly, woo! This is why my offering for that I'm about to share with y'all is gonna be so juicy because there's so much that you can learn, and there's so much that can be understood that isn't being talked about, that isn't being broken down the way that I'm gonna break it down. And this is what clicked for me over the week is like, oh snap, like this is how it works. Hey, my beautiful. Yes, I can. Thank you for being patient with me. All right, we almost at 2 hours. Let's see if I can make it to 3. Let's see if I can make it to 3. Um. All right, my daughter's bringing me her tablet. I'm gonna put the password in so she can play. Oh, what's going? Oh, I put the thing on the time limit. All right, here you go. All right, so now let's get into, well, actually, before I get into it, does anybody have any questions? Because I don't want to just kind of keep running and running. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have anything they want to say about what I just spoke on for the two things that I kind of just my teaching points for the instant level manifestations, which the two were um how to get out of that hoping energy and into manifesting on command, and then the genie level, stepping into that genie level, quantum leaping. Let me know. Go ahead and put them in there. So everything that I am, um, no questions, good advice. Okay, Khadijah. Thank you, Khadijah. Um, all right, so everything that I'm talking about, all the foundations to instant manifestation, everything begins with this embodiment part in receiving the things that you ask for, the embodiment that you step into when it comes to the element of the earth. Okay. Khadijah says getting out of the waiting phase is very important. Yes. Getting out of the waiting phase and into the no, it's happening now. No, it's gonna happen now. And I want to mention this one more thing when it comes to the waiting phase in that and having making sure having it happen now is also the flexibility in that. Remember, specifically, I was talking about how a woman's body, and we're going to go deep into this in my offering. A woman's body is naturally more flexible, naturally more, um, you know, it can just do more things. It can conform in different ways. When it has a baby, it's like able to expand and contract. Like that's the same flexibility that you need to have also for instant manifestations. It's not that you need to wait, it's that you need to be flexible. And you need to stop being so stubborn. And you need to stop being so committed to uh not you need to stop being committed to what you want and having what you want. Absolutely not. Be committed to that. But it's the stubbornness. It's the you thinking that it has to come like this or it has to happen in this way. Okay, you can want it to come in a certain way, but holding on to the way is going to absolutely keep you in the waiting phase. Okay? It's going to absolutely keep you in the waiting phase. You have to be flexible and malleable and open. But you in that same breath, you need to be fixed on the truth and the knowing that it's already done and that you have it already and that it's yours. That's how that works. Balancing act. Okay. So, all right. So yeah, so all right, questions. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, manifestation questions, if you have any questions about how I was talking about how I was manifesting um men or high quality men or wealthy men or specific types of men, like my example that I used earlier. I'm still smiling about that because I was not expecting to see him at all, but I wasn't surprised to see him because I was calling him in. I was calling the frequency of him in so strongly. Not like fixated on it, right? Not like stubborn about it, but energetically. If you have any questions about money, manifesting money, and how I was able to manifest my $1,000 weekend, um, even questions about the $10,000 windfalls. That's I'm specifically going to be helping you to manifest inside of Safe to Receive. Whatever questions you have, go ahead and throw them at me. Khadija says, yes, I understand being open to it, manifesting in many different ways. Some you may not even expect, opening your eyes to see every opportunity. Yes, exactly. Being open to it in being open to it, but not so open that you're giving your power away. So that's the main thing that I want to differentiate and highlight. This also applies, I find that this also applies in the way women approach dating and men. Is like you're so open and you're so receptive and you're so feminine that you give all your power away, and you're not deciding, you're not being decisive, you're not choosing. Okay, and then you're not living in in that choice, which is the embodiment part. You're just open and you're hoping. That's the hoping energy, is when you don't have those two elements in there. So you might not even think that you're hoping. You might think that you're just manifesting. You might think that you are um doing the things that you're supposed to do to manifest, that most spiritual people and spiritual teachers online will tell you, which those things do work, but they leave this part out because they're not grounded, in my opinion. They're not grounded um in the earth element, in this earth feminine element. I love talking about the earth feminine.